Hi everyone. So here, probably in the last throes of summer in Warsaw. I didn't post last week because I actually went camping. I was kind of making a video whilst I was there, but then I just decided, nah, I'll just enjoy the time for itself and not place any pressure on myself to sort of contentify it. Although maybe I'll intersperse this video with some images and videos of that trip, so you can get a sense of what camping in Poland is all about. Anyway, so a friend of mine recently recommended a couple of, well, an app and a website basically. The app is FaceApp, which I'm sure many of you already know, and the website I believe is pronounced Nyckel. And she'd been using it as a kind of electronic means to assess or evaluate how well she passes as a female. And she mentioned this in passing, and my kind of data-driven, objectified bit of my brain lit up, and I thought, ooh, let's check those things out and see how well I do. Now, the way that these two apps or these two programs work is you give them a picture, and I'm sure it's underpinned by some kind of AI based shenanigan. And then, well, with Nyckel it gives you a percentage score of how confident it is you're a man or a woman, and with FaceApp it gives you a kind of interface which is either female coded or male coded, depending on how it assesses your appearance in that image. And it was an interesting, it still is kind of an interesting diversion, because it's nice to be validated, to be properly gendered by an AI. For example, in the Nyckel app, I'm going to call it an app even though it's a website, in the Nyckel app, it seemed to be pretty confident about my femalehood, my femininity, my woman status. And it was quite fun to plug in pictures, especially pictures where I didn't feel confident myself in how I was presenting. I thought that I looked a bit ropey, but it still gave fairly positive results, which does make me question its validity and its accuracy, but I don't want to question it too far because it's nice to be given praise, let's face it. Meanwhile, FaceApp was a little bit less sure. It was more of a 50-50 sort of result, let's say. Now, does that mean I've changed my view on passing as a whole? I've made a video or two on this topic, and in those videos I talk a bit about why I don't feel passing is or represents the pinnacle of my trans achievements, so to speak. I'm happy with what I get, and I don't want to go too far into the potential rabbit hole of over hyper fixating on certain physical features, and I feel it can lead to a bit of toxicity. That could be toxic positivity or toxic negativity. Either way, it can lead to a lot of problems with people's body image and kind of putting certain unattainable features on a pedestal when focusing on other things is perhaps more useful. Let's put it that way. So, knowing that these apps exist, it does trouble me a little bit, because as nice a little boost of confidence it is to be told that you're 98% woman, don't know where that extra 2% is, but I'll track it down and I'll eradicate it. As nice as it is to be told I'm 98% woman, I still don't think that means anything in the real world. When I'm interacting with somebody, there's still my mannerisms to contend with. There's still my voice, for example, which needs a lot of work. So it's just based on one single snapshot, which is easily manipulated. I was briefly considering doing a kind of a trawl through my images over the last year and a half to see if there's a kind of tipping point where the algorithm detects I'm a female more than male, or I get a different percentage score, for instance. But to be honest, I don't know. I think maybe that's a bit of a waste of my time, because I don't know if I need that kind of validation. To be honest, I'm getting plenty of that in real life, and whenever I look in the mirror for my own, viewing myself through my own filter. So getting that kind of electronic feedback, I'm sure some people find that really useful and really confidence boosting, but I don't know if I need that these days in my life. But it did get me thinking, as things often do, about the types of changes that I have seen over the last year and a half, because I'm now past the 18-month mark on HRT, which is quite something. It's become very much part of my routine, and while the actual application of the patches and the taking of the medication it's lost a little bit of that kind of reverential sort of thrill, it still makes me happy. It still makes me so happy knowing that I have access to this, and that it has produced noticeable and visible changes to me. Even today I am noticing new things about the way that my body has decided to shape itself. So what changes have I seen? Well, I think, I don't know, I mean, some of you have been watching my videos since day one, and that's really quite something that you've managed to put up with me for over a year now. So congratulations and thank you so much, especially those of you who financially supported this channel. It still baffles me why you do that. I have no idea why you voluntarily listen to me prattling on about nonsense for far too long. But whatever, you're here, so thank you. I do appreciate it. And I wonder if you've noticed any kind of changes within myself. I mean, I think my shadow and stubble, it's cleared up. Laser treatment really worked magic there. I think my skin overall is cleaner, clearer. It's got more of a feminine quality, for want of a better way of putting it. I know that there's an actual technical term for it, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Potentially the shape of my face, but definitely the quality of my hair. It's shinier, it's more soft and bouncy, which is definitely good. And I've not changed much in terms of my hair care routine, my face routine I've been doing for about a year and a half now as well. But just recently I've had a pain in my hip, my left hip, and I put it down to maybe overexertion, a little bit too much yoga, but it remained for over a month, maybe 7 weeks, 8 weeks. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when it started, because I'm getting old. Aches and pains are now part of my new normal, as many things as they are. And did a bit of digging, and I learnt about hip tilt, and I was checking out my profile in the mirror in the bathroom, and there is a noticeable additional curvature to my spine. So I can only assume the pain is a symptom from that. And so I'm not quite sure what to make of that, to be honest. A lot of these changes I never really expected or anticipated. Like, I never expected these, for instance. Like, wow. Oh my word. They are my babies. I mean, I have, other things I consider to be things I love, but to have parts of my body that I'm really, really happy with, it's remarkable. And things like this, it's like I came into this process just happy to get whatever I could. And I feel so blessed because I'm living my life out here in the world. Yeah, some people spot me, some people clock me, so to speak, but yeah, so what, you know, they see me for who I am, and that's fine. I know that I still need to do some work myself. As I say, my voice probably needs a bit of training, but legally as well, I still need to do all that paperwork. It's a weight on my mind, like other things. And it's just crazy because I know there are so many people in the trans community and other communities as well, in fairness, who are quite rightly terrified of what the future holds. And here I am, like, actually my life's pretty good outside of work, which is still incredibly stressful without any resolution. But my life like this, it's more than I could ever have wished for. And I don't need an app to tell me that. I don't need to be given a percentage score to tell me that I'm in a much better place today than I was 2 years ago. And if you use those apps and you find them validating and useful, that's great. I'm really happy for you. I think we do need to get our validation wherever we can find it. And sometimes that can be difficult in the real world. And especially, and I've had these conversations with a few of my friends, in fact, trans and cis, believe it or not. And we can be incredibly harsh on ourselves. We can be incredibly unfair to ourselves. We can look at something in the mirror, someone in the mirror, and think, look at this gargoyle. And you kind of internalize that, and it's not fair, because everybody that I know is beautiful to a certain extent. And if we can't tell ourselves that we are beautiful, that we are a wonderful person, that we are better today than we were a week, a month, a year ago, then I suppose we do need to get that from somewhere. If we can't find that within ourselves, we do need to get that before we can tell ourselves that. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm saying now. But I suppose, yeah, that's my concluding notes. Like, life is hard. It's hard for all of us. It's easy for us to fall into sort of petty arguments with others based on superficial differences or even fundamental and existential differences. But we should be our biggest cheerleaders. We should be our biggest fans. And I hope that if you are not your biggest fan today, then you can find the way to become that person, where you can look in the mirror and you can say, if not, I'm great, I'm better. And yeah, if you need an app to do that, that's fine. If you need strangers in the street to do that, that's great. If you need a friend to tell you that, then reach out. I will be that voice of positivity in your life. It's the name of my channel after all. But anyway, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. All the very best. Goodbye.